All right, I think we've got something going on here. At least it looks like it, at least from here. What about over here? Oh, hey, volume's working. I wonder now. All right, hold on. Okay, volume's working. Boom. If you're 5 or older, go ahead and give your doctor a call and schedule colonoscopy. I just did my final MRI yesterday morning, and I'm waiting for the results, but I don't expect anything to be anything unexpected. We're just keeping an eye on a couple of spots. Anyways, thanks for stopping by. It took a minute to get this YouTube set up, and now we're rolling. Um, we're going to be talking my biochar that I'm using this year. It's basically going to be a long-term investment in our soil. Uh, it's already been partially inoculated with some urea and rabbit crap extract, basically, with fresh snow, by the way. And we're going to be mixing in a small amount of insect frass, which this here is honeybee, ground up honeybees. Okay. And then we've got our rabbit crap, rabbit compost. Okay. We've also got some turkey tail mushroom. Now, this was a mushroom that was like 4.5 pounds. And I would say the lifespan of that mushroom had completed itself. You can see here that, let's see if I can get the right camera. Okay, that's what it looked like originally. Huge, 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 thick. I ground it up in a grinder, and now we've got the consistency of coffee there, right? And then I 20 to 1 some of my own organic honey into some water. We're going to be sifting our stuff through that mesh uh, because there's pretty much an optimal size. It's not a very big particle that you want, but you don't want a fine powder um, when you're making your biochar, or at least that's what I've come to find. And then what we're doing is making a long-term kind of inoculant for our mound or our mounds, but I have a few of them. That is going to have a lot of slow release. Maybe notes to it, I guess you'd say. Anyways, particles to it. And then because we're growing big plants, any like immediately available nutrients will be introducing through compost teas and fermented plant and fermented fruit juices. Very basic fermented plant and fermented fruit. Also, there's a couple of things with this stuff. I'm not exactly sure a whole lot, but I've been hearing things about mushrooms and fungus, I guess, in general, are made of chitin, which is the same material your insect frass is made out of. I don't exactly know what we're going to get from this other than it's going to be adding to our structure, and it'll also add spots for any microbes that we're making in here to maybe colonize and attach to, if not internally, externally. It'll provide Hopefully, now see, we don't want to overuse a lot of this stuff, but hopefully that is true with the chitin, and we'll have to use less of our insect brass, which would also be chitin. Um, Basically, if you're unfamiliar with chitin, it does several things, but depending on how you apply it and how you use it, uh, you can fight different kinds of pests with it. But it also will tell your plant that it needs to produce, or that's basically getting attacked by bugs, and it needs to produce oils to combat them, or um, um, you know, draw them away or drive them away. Uh, Now I was just thinking about too. Well, maybe that'll prevent maybe some of the beneficial. It might steer your oils in one direction. So maybe you'll get some more oils that will drive away pests by using chitin. Who knows? Maybe if you didn't add some of that stuff, maybe a deficiency in it would drive your plant to make something that would attract bugs, a terpene or the oils that would attract bugs. Anyways, we're a few minutes into this video. We've had a few people stop by. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. Make some comments in here. um, yeah, we'll be making our fermented plant juices. Actually, we've already got fermented plant juice and fermented fruit juice frozen in buckets right now. That can start breaking down as soon as we start to warm up around here. Anyways, we don't need to make this a huge long video. And I wish I was getting a little better video on that TV over there. And at some point, I am going to be messing around on the YouTube platform here to see if I can change cameras without losing picture and change, different things around. So it's basically an exploratory live today. We'll have a little smoke session. We'll put together a batch of our nutrients. We're not going to be throwing all this stuff in together. We're going to be using a little bit of this, a little bit of that to inoculate both of these bags of bio. Right now, it's technically biochar. It has been inoculated, but I'm going to give it nutrients for this stuff to actually start working on now. So when we throw handfuls of it here and handfuls of it there, it's ready to go, and prepared to keep going for a long time. Hopefully through the rest of the season. The biochar itself, the carbon in here will be there for hundreds to thousands of years. That is sequestered carbon from the air that is not going to be, back in the atmosphere for 1,000 years or more. So thanks everybody for stopping. We are going to be grinding up our deer and rabbit crap. I did use the deer crap last year to inoculate the biochar, and I used rabbit crap last year in one of my pots that I had. I had a 30-gallon pot and I think it was like a 15-gallon. And had a couple in the soil. I have never used anything like this before, but also I'm hoping that it may be some kind of a like culture for a fungus. Your fungal needs of your soil are good too, or you know what I mean? you have a lot of fungal needs in a natural soil. That's basically what we're trying to mimic. Okay, we're sucking out, especially with these big plants, we're sucking out this stuff at such a fast rate. In the spring, all this stuff is washed out from all the snow that we get in this area. I'm in peat, which doesn't have a whole lot of natural stuff going into it other than leaves and well, you got the occasional deer that comes by and takes a dump. Well, you got the occasional rabbit that comes by and takes a dump. But you don't have a plant that is going to be harvested from there, which your nutrients aren't going back in like in a tree. The tree's leaves are going to fall. The tree's eventually going to die and decompose. Bugs are going to get in it. The birds are going to eat the bugs. The birds are going to shit on the ground, and then that's going to fertilize the soil in small amounts. Because we're not naturally returning that stuff in the soil by letting these plants, just growing these plants and letting them die in place, we've got to return those nutrients. I'm missing a couple of things right now. I'm just saying that in general because I know I'm missing one thing right now. I'm missing my mineral content. Now, we'll be able to get some of that, or probably a lot of it, through our fermented plant juices. Because basically, those fermented plant juices are already ready to go plant nutrients because you just took apart a plant other than the root system. So the one thing is the mineral source, and what I use is blue clay. I dry out the blue clay, completely dry, and when you rub it together, it turns into such a fine powder that you just open your hand like this and the dust floats through the air. That makes such a fine surface that the surface area of it, or a small surface, small particle, that the surface area is so great, your microbes work on it faster. So we're going to start out by sieving, and I don't think we're going to get a whole lot of big particles because I've already done this by hand prior, but I'll show you what we got here. This is the deer crap, okay? This was collected out in the yard. Anytime you're going to see condensation on a bag like this, you can tell there's microbial activity going on in there. Not so much in the insect frass, okay? We didn't want it to mold, so I dried it out. These are, I don't know how many pounds of unprocessed honeybees. There's a couple. This is about 2 pounds probably of ground up, dried, smoked honeybees. They're smoked because they're in the barrel stove that I have, and that's how I dried them out. Not a big deal. The chitin source is still there. There's probably some different enzymes in there. And then this is the rabbit compost that was collected in my rabbit crap trap. You can see a video of that. It's going to be sieved through this. The inside of the box is lined. Okay. Recycle things. I've been recycling old snowmobile maps because they retrace the snowmobile trails around here. So old maps are no longer useful, and there is a handful or two that we're going to be recycled, and we're going to put that recycling back into what we're doing here. All right, so let's start out with our biochar. And there's several different ways you can grind up stuff, but basically I just pulverized the biochar. This is some kind of mesh trellising. I don't know where it was actually purchased. We used it for some vines, and this was all the little piece that was left. And you can see free advertisement here. These boxes, if you're ordering stuff online and you get all these boxes, They can be recycled. Corrugated cardboard, all of it can be recycled. But I like to use it first. And some of the stuff that isn't painted and have paper or stickers all over it, that can be put right into your garden actually as a weed barrier and carbon source. You mix that one layer of cardboard with a layer of grass clippings or some kind of green um, nitrogen kind of material, then that's some pretty nice stuff here. Then you've got the right mixture of carbon to nitrogen to make a good base of soil. Okay, so there are a few bigger chunks, but that's all right. Not a lot. And this is like a 1/2 inch mesh here, so anything smaller than a 1/2 inch just made it through. And then next time we go and grind up some activated charcoal, or we could do it now if we had time. I can do it later, but it never hurts to have some bigger chunks laying around. Okay. In case you have to do an experiment, you need some maybe not so active biochar. Here's another bag we're gonna do. I wish that picture was better, but I bet you what it is it's me moving around and then I'm not hooked directly right up to the internet. I'm using Wi-Fi. Sorry, folks. We're just documenting this stuff. I'll try and move a little slower. Maybe that'll help. We could try zooming in also, but I don't know. If I was sitting right in front of the camera, it'd be a little different. Maybe if I had a little better light, maybe I should put some light on this. Anyways, how's everybody doing today? Hope you're doing well. Well, let's see. Well, whatever. So this box is stapled, or this mesh is stapled on top of this box. I have the liner in there so this stuff doesn't fall inside the flaps of the inside of the box on the bottom. And then in the bottom corner over here, I've got a square cut out. And you know what I'll do? I'll use this this biochar here in my worm castings when we get the crawlers going. So we'll put it in a small bag, and then we're going to be probably moving our finished char here, or mostly finished. We'll get back to the mineral stuff. Probably in a bucket now when we're done. Possibly. I don't know. All right, so we've got our biochar, our newly inoculated biochar. Oh, by the way, we're getting some shitty weather. We got rain and snow moving in here. We're in Minnesota. Obviously, February, whatever it is, 24th. And we got a spring/late winter storm rolling through. Nothing like the East Coast just went through. All right, so next thing is going to be our insect frass, okay? This is going to give something for our microbes to work on. There's going to be particles of honey left in these bees. So I'm going to take two, not heaping handfuls, but handfuls of the ground up honeybees. Okay, there, boom. And then we're going to take 2 handfuls of our ground up turkey tail. Anybody that's just checking this out, this is a ground up turkey tail mushroom that was on a maple tree that went down in a tornado probably 10 years ago. And that turkey tail has run its course. It was half the size of this box, so it was huge. 2 handfuls. That's just going to add structure, you know. You got to picture this area where this plant is going to be coming out of, or the prior plants from last year are coming out of, because I'm reusing this soil that is in pots. I've been re-amending. Not with this particular. That's one of the reasons why we're documenting. We're putting together this mix for the first time. I'm not taking really big swings because I don't want to knock anything out of balance, but I used individual components in individual spots last year and had 0 diverse or adverse effects. And everything I saw out of those plants was beneficial. I didn't see a lot of bug repelling or whatever. We had a really bad bug year, but everybody here had a really bad bug year. And I think everybody in a lot of places, especially with them budworms, those they're corn borers or hemp borers. They're so damn small. This is the deer crap, by the way. And this is going to get 2 handfuls of this. It also has some willow leaves mixed in with it because it was collected underneath a willow tree. Not all those are going to make it through the mesh, so we're just going to keep those. We're going to pull those out. Garbage right here. But we're gonna crush it. We want this all to incorporate into the biochar. We're not making a fertilizer per se. We're inoculating an amendment, is what I would call it. So once we get all this stuff ground to a finer part or particle, then we'll mix it together and either put it in a bag or a bucket. Oh, we'll add some honey to it. Our honey water is going to add to it, and that's going to help activate the microbes in here. I may let it sit a day or two, depending on what the weather does outside. But eventually, I'm going to want to warm it. So I might bring whatever container that's in into the house, and that's when we'll start to see a lot of more bioactivity. So it'll be, or biological activity. We'll start to see condensation build up on the inside of the plastic. And you can kind of control how fast it works. I'll put it into some stuff now, but when I'm planting my vegetable garden, it's going to be going in handful at a time with every plant, depending on how big the plant is. Pepper plant or whatever, tomato plant, probably just a handful. Like I said, it's not a fertilizer, although it will have some NPK to it. We're giving it the biological inoculation we need to start to digest what we're going to be feeding it in the future, which will be blood meal, bone meal. Maybe not so much in the future. It's going to be, probably added right about the same time we add this stuff. I just have to get it yet, but I don't need that stuff until I have this stuff ready. So And this is going to probably sit for 2 weeks. And then in my mounds, each mound will probably get about 6 to 8 handfuls of this to, because I don't have a huge amount of this stuff, and I have quite a few plants that I'm going to be feeding. Ideally, you want to get between 10 and 15% in the area you're growing. So we're just about there with the handfuls of the deer here. I want to get pretty much two good cupfuls of this into this char here. And you know what? It doesn't smell now, but even when I've added stuff that really has some smell to it, I mean, blood meal, that stuff stinks. Bone meal, if that stuff gets wet, man, does that stink. I mean, rabbit crap, deer crap, that's going to stink if it gets wet. But the biochar absorbs all that. That's basically what we're trying to do here is get that biochar, that activated charcoal, to absorb the microbiology that is in the stuff we're adding to it now, so it's ready to support what we're trying to do this summer. Let me tell you some of the things that I found. First of all, you're using less food. More of the food that you're putting into that ground, your soil, is getting uptaken by the plants, and less of it is just getting washed through the top layers of your soil. I've had plants, when I've added this biochar, and not this identical one, but a more, let's see, basic one that I've used in the past, just the deer crap. The plants I added it to, namely and most notably, cucumbers. My cucumber plants lived through July, which usually in this area, I've had a lot of trouble keeping cucumber plants alive past July in the open sun, okay? Another one is rhubarb. My rhubarb here in July typically dries up completely. This year I had rhubarb until we had snow and frost, until it froze. I used it in my cannabis. I didn't see any big swings in moisture, the need for moisture. So it's keeping the biology alive that is supporting your plants in extreme temperatures. A couple of years ago, I had some squash that in super hot temperatures over the course of a couple of days, hooked the first couple of days, fermented over the next couple of days, and then exploded in the extreme heat the fifth and sixth days. So it was really crazy. I have not seen that since, and we had some pretty crazy hot days to where some of my cannabis was ruined because in late flower, we got some 80 and 90 degree temperatures. I'm going to check out the chat here in 2 shakes. 80 and 90 degree temperatures, and all the trichomes basically burnt off. All that was left were decapitated stalks. How's it going? What's going on? Lori, how's it going? What do we got? Crumblewig too? Crumblewig, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by, you guys. Appreciate it. We're just inoculating some biochar today with rabbit crap, deer crap, some ground up turkey tail mushroom from a tree in the yard. That was a huge, I mean, it was bigger than I am around. Chunk of turkey tail. And then we've got some of my honeybees that didn't make it through the winter. Actually, none of my dang honeybees made it through the winter. We had such a crappy year this year. So these are the ground up, dried up remnants of those. And then some locally sourced wood that was made into activated charcoal to now be charged with what we're doing now. So, Lori, yeah, I'm having fun, hon. You betcha. She says hi, Crow Bro. Fun company. Right on, yeah. Cheers. Ruby is squawking. Is that a pet? I'm guessing. Anyways, got some gnarly shit down my hands here, but I'm thirsty. So we'll be inoculating my insides. Anyways, for anybody out there that is interested in putting together their own soil, you can pretty much fly by night as long as you're using a few things. And those things are easy to find. I have come across a good recipe, and if anybody wants to, get into it themselves, I can give it to them. I don't know, 14 cubic square foot it would make. But anyways, at some point we might cover that too. But since I'm not going to be growing in pots and I'm going to be growing in my mounds pretty much from now on, I don't really need a bulk soil for anything, so I'll just keep it handy if anybody needs one. All right, so yes, what I was saying before now is we're missing my mineral source, which is what I use as blue clay. And I use that blue clay in a dried form. The stuff I've used in the past has come from out in our back. We've got a cattail marsh out there. And over the years, or actually through the ice age, after the ice age, when the glaciers moved out of Minnesota, we benefit from this, but I miss in Minnesota that we don't have all the like dinosaur bones and shit like that, because you go right over here to the South Dakota and they've got that stuff. Well, the ice age glaciers never made it to that particular point. There's only one place in Minnesota, trying to remember what it's called, that was missed by the glaciers. Anyways, when they retreated, they deposited this fine, can you imagine a 14-mile high glacier or whatever the hell you're on top of you, grinding you down? They left this fine powder behind. Over the millions of years, that fine powder's collected together, mixed with some other things, and turned into a glopy, globular clay, which is the smallest mineral particle you're going to find. You dry that out, it's completely micronized, okay? So you've got the maximum amount of surface area. You take a handful of that, and I put it, handful here in the spring, handful in the fall. I'll put it in my fermented plant juices just for kicks. I don't know, maybe they'll ferment something off of that because it's such a fine particle. And then my activated aerated compost teas, my worm castings, everything's getting a little bit of everything. But that's where you're going to get, I theorize, okay, some of your other trace minerals. There's probably going to be some calcium in it. There's going to be some magnesium in it, which, boom, there you go. There's your CalMag, and a lot of the stuff on YouTube or whatever is focused on people having to purchase things to do a more hydroponic or whatever type style of indoor possibly growing. So you got to kind of decipher things. But there's probably I know there's that, whatever you call it, glacial rock dust. I'm assuming it's something along that. Anyways, I get it in small amounts naturally from our cattail swamp, where 50 years ago there was ponds dug out and the spoils from those ponds were piled up. Those piles are what I grow my cannabis in. In those piles are deposits from way down deep in that peat. Underneath that peat is where the clay is. When it got deposited, small amounts got deposited there. I found them over time, collected them, and have dried them out and used them. I'm out of them now. I'm out of it. I can go find some more, but only like handfuls at a time. Clay, gray or blue clay, gray or blue clay. Some of you people might be familiar with it. We played a lot with it as kids. But I do know some people that run excavators, and one of them said this spring he would have no problem getting me, a pail or two full. So I'm going to get a couple pails of that. But once again, I dry it completely out, and it turns in such a fine powder that no work is needed. You don't got to pay any money other than if you have to find somebody to run an excavator to dig it out for you. But, depending on your area, Northern Hemisphere, upper Midwest, you probably have some kind of source of clay. I don't know that gray clay is any more special, but I know what it came from. It came from the glaciers. It wasn't from any other type of erosion. That stuff is going to benefit what we're doing here. So, what do we got here? What do we got? Oh, Ruby's a hen. Okay, kind of thought when you said squawking, yeah, probably, but that could be anything, right? Gonna put an Ogo net in your pond, mounted on a wood angle on the corner where the filter pond runs back to into the pond. Oh, okay. So you have like a sediment pond. Put an Ogo net. Oh, I'm okay. See, now I don't do any of that indoor stuff, but I've come familiar with watching stuff. So an Ogo net would be probably an Ogo net pot, might I add? One more quarter. How's it going? Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you. Is the sound coming through on this well? I know if I sit still, see on my computer here, I've got perfect picture. Okay. But I'm not hooked up by wire to the internet. I'm hooked up through Bluetooth or not Wi-Fi. Audio sound good. Thank you. The picture sucks though, especially when I move. Like right now, I'm looking over there and it looks good, but I start to move. Anyways, I will check it out. That's cool. Yeah. So yeah, you could definitely. You might. I'm sure there's probably plenty of oxygen in there, but I mean that's probably really oxygenated in your little pond environment. I guess I would think. I haven't checked that out in a while. I like looking at your plants in your tent there. Stuff. Uh, my pepper plant I haven't showed in a while. It had such a aphid infestation that I didn't catch it. It was just stupid. Nobody expected it to freaking get overrun like that, so nobody else was watching. I just threw it up there and in the living room under a light. Let's see. See, like looking with, okay, 480p with glasses. Now, this camera I'm using has 6K capabilities. So that's why I'm getting really good picture here, but it's just that I'm probably 50 feet away from my Wi-Fi in the house. I'll look at maybe possibly next getting some kind of Wi-Fi transmitter iter thing. Anyways, who wants to smoke one with me? Appreciate you guys stopping by. I got a little combination of 3 different kinds of stuff here. I'm pretty much running out now, which isn't surprising for me. I go through so damn much. Plus, I like to give it away. Pretty happy. I don't know, with anybody that I've tried their stuff, and maybe it's because everybody's selfish, but it's been decent. I gotta say, we've had a lot of success in this area. But for what I like, it's just hands down. If I can nail it, it's the best in the area. If I'm not allowed to freaking stay dialed in on it, then it kind of is hit or miss, especially with the curing process and harvesting and stuff like that. I get really busy and unable to do it when I need to do it and do it when I have time to do it. Sometimes that don't work, especially here this last year, that 80 and 90 some degree weather we had really late in September and into October really burned off some trichomes. Anyways, we've got a mixture here, and this here is the one plant that was the hugest. Tastes like shit on the flower. But if you take and get your bubble bags out, all I have to do is freaking grind this stuff up a little bit and it knocks trichomes off like crazy. So I'm taking some of my over mature flower, stuff that I kind of experimented with and left it on the plant to see what would happen. That got maybe a less attention in the dry and cure. I'm just throwing some dry sift on top of that, and that seemed to help. So anyways, okay, we're gonna start with here. Lori said hi to one more quarter. 6K, dang, that's for the young fellas. I know. Well, see, because I don't do technology, all this stuff I've just acquired this stuff in the last 14 months. Okay, so I've never went on a computer prior to this, other than maybe to look at a B blog or something like that. Um, and I'm learning all this stuff from scratch. So a lot of it is kind of hashed together. I don't know the technological way to get to it from a computer. So like right now I have 3 windows open, and if I have to look at something or something, I have to go to that other window. I can't look at it on this page or whatever. I don't know. Anyways, cheers everybody. Not too bad. Cheers, cheers. Last year, by the way, the insect brass was mosquito and white moth. It was collected in a bug zapper. Couple of things. First of all, if anybody's watching right now that I should have your phone number in my phone, guess what? I think Lori knows about this. My phone went through the fucking washing machine and I lost all my numbers. So I should have mentioned this at the beginning so everybody sees this, but smoking some Gorilla Glue, White Widow. All right, did you see my video with my White Widows? I just acquired a 21-year-old, a cut from a 21-year-old strain, cultivar. Um, the dude popped this flower 21 years ago and has kept it. I just acquired it. That's going to be fun. Anywho, it's one of the reasons why I keep that other video going here. One more quarter, seeing that, yes, okay, yep. Yeah, the Gigi with the what you call it, with Lori. You bet. We got a phone number there. One more quarter. Oh, there we go. Do 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 do. Is that in Minnesota? 651-612. Anywho, ouch. What kind of rare vegetables? Oh, that's the phone number. Or 867. Oh, yeah, sure it is. Okay, I didn't sing it. That is 8675309. Funny. All right. I wonder if that would work these days. Probably somebody would answer. All right. Let's check this out here. All right. We're going to put it into 5-gallon pail. Now, I visualized this working the first time. But anybody that's checking this out for the first moment, we're making our own biochar. And in there is our biochar and our inoculation. Actually, it's pretty much inoculated right now. We used a rabbit crap extract and urea. But now we wanted to get into a fine particle. My mesh fell off anyways. I just had it stapled on here. But it's working to where Look at that, empty. Got like 2 specks on the ground down there. I just better look in the bucket. That's in the bucket. We're gonna mix that up. And as we're mixing it, I'm gonna put gloves back on. Hope and one hunk made it through whole. As we're mixing it, we're gonna be adding my honey and water solution. If you missed it at the beginning of the show here, it's 20-to-1, 20 ounces of water to 1 ounce of my homegrown Minnesota extremely fabulous freaking honey, I might add. And you're not going to see people using honey a lot because it doesn't make sense to go to the store and buy it. Galaxy Solutions, I can see that name coming from 14 freaking miles away. Peace, homie. Good to see you. But since I'm a beekeeper, and at the moment, I've got the hospital grade honey right now. But out in the bee shed, and actually right over here in one of my beehives, I've got some like we'll call it contaminated honey. It was outside of the hive in really humid weather and picked up a lot of moisture. Now, the stuff in the hive I can put back on the beehives this spring, and the bees will take care of it. They'll use what they need out of it. They can convert that into wax. It actually takes 6 pounds of honey for those bees to make 1 pound of beeswax when they're building a comb for their hive, which is one of the reasons why bees, when they swarm or if they have to vacate the premises, they will make sure they take honey with them. It does not make any sense for them to try and go and start a new colony if they don't have enough beeswax or enough honey to make beeswax to start out. That stuff doesn't come from just nowhere. Okay? So if they don't have the resources to take with them to start a new colony, they won't leave. Some of the things that'll make them want to leave is overcrowding. That's basically the main thing. Maybe a fire or flood or something like that. The bees will send out searcher bees, I guess, or I don't know what you'd really call them. Anyways, these particular bees will go out and try and find the right environment to start a new hive. The bees will then swarm, which the process of swarming is in a swarm, the technical term for it, the bees will set up that hive to sustain itself while it creates its own queen. It'll be given all the stuff to grow a queen before these other bees leave. And just before the new queen hatches, which there'll be several queens left to hatch, and then pretty much the first or the strongest queen to hatch will go and then kill off those other queens, so there's only one queen, and she'll take over the colony. That's in strong, overcrowded environment. Anyways, we'll use that example. We're not going to get into everything. The bees will take that honey then that they take in their gut to their new environment and convert that into beeswax. That then in turn, that queen that was sustaining the first hive will start laying eggs in. Slowly, okay? Because those bees that queen took with her, she takes all or just about all the worker bees, the forager bees, and leaves the hive with basically nurse bees and young bees. Hold on, we got a message here. Those forager bees will start to make comb and start, take care of the queen. The queen is hand fed her whole life. She don't go out and search for anything. The other bees that are basically, I wouldn't call it a harem, but kind of like a harem. They kind of hangs out right around the queen, feeds her, takes her crap away. I mean, does everything for her, protects her, keeps her warm. Different kind of freaking story these days when it comes to legal cannabis, let me tell you. The amount of gummies and vapes that are around these days. A couple of years ago, I had no idea. Well, because I didn't have a computer, right? I wasn't doing any of this online stuff. Only reason I'm here is because of my plants, my plant structures. There's something to check out. So I didn't. I don't know. I'm glad to have this computer influence these days. I think information is important, but it's also a major downfall because there's a lot of misinformation. Probably, I would say, I don't know, out of my, well, shit, now with AI, I don't know, man. I'd say 80% of it is either fake, maybe not misleading, but fake, and then misleading. What I'm doing here is only focused on a handful of friggin' people. Okay? Basically, I'm doing this for the people in my area. All right? That I've come in contact with, that I've been open with about what I'm doing. And they need help. A few of them with the growing aspect, some of them haven't grown at all. Look at Aaron's video. He'd never grown anything prior. They've got a couple of plants that are out in his yard or whatever, perennials, but he'd never grown anything. And he grew 2 of my clones out beautifully with my help. And then a couple other people had issues with their drying and curing. Okay? I don't have a controlled environment to dry and cure. And especially when you have these huge plants, you can't just put them in a tent for 2 weeks because you got this plant, maybe 2, getting ripe at the same time. And I've got two other plants that are going to be coming around behind it. What's up, sis? How's it going, Sissy? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping. We're playing with deer and rabbit shit today. And ground up honeybees. Ground up turkey tail mushroom. I'm going to do some exploring on YouTube here a little bit. Here's my rabbit shit from my wild rabbit shit crap trap. Now this one here, I fed, you can see it in the video, willow branches to, and they strip the bark off. So this stuff, when I extracted it with a little bit of snow, smelled like the inside of a freaking hospital. I know willow has a lot of different components to it. I'm sure they're transferring into the crap. We're going to use this stuff this year, and we're going to have some amazing results. Anyways, since this is here, Zillins, we're going to smoke one. Cheers. Bongs up, everybody. So basically, I'm adding honey to what we just put together then. So that turkey tail, rabbit crap, deer crap, the activated charcoal was charged with urea and rabbit crap extract. That stuff I was telling you smelled like the inside of a hospital. And then when you add it to this biochar, there is a little bit of, I would say, unfinished biochar or maybe generic biochar in there, or activated charcoal that still has a sooty smell. That's going to go away after time, but there really isn't going to be much of a smell other than an earthy, good smell going on. One more quarter, still smoking the last one. You fire up a doobie. I'm going to still be smoking this one because I forgot to warm up my lighter. Let's find a different one, huh? Oh, actually, yeah, I'm still smoking this one too. We topped it with some dry sift. Oh, I got my freaking White Widow damn dream plant. Not that it's like, it's dream plant for nostalgia, let's call it. Something that I remember, it was like the first green weed I ever smoked, other than some homey stuff that somebody else grew. Back in the day, we only had brickweed around here, the brown kind of brickweed, not the green kind of mids green, brickweed or whatever. It was the brown frown. Got to heat in the microwave, peel it off. It makes a noise when you peel it apart. Seeds all over in it. But once in a while, somebody would come here, and we had two different kinds of green weed. We had the White Widow, and shortly after that, we had Kind Buds. And the Kind Bud was, I've never seen nothing since like that. But the White Widow was pretty dank around here. So when I finally got to try this stuff here about a year and a half ago, maybe it wasn't that long, I knew I wanted to grow it. So he hooked me up pretty fat. I got six girls. I got a buddy that wants, well, I got like 3 buddies that want to grow it. And one of them is hopefully going to keep it around for a while. All right, sorry, that took long enough. Oh, that tastes good though. I'll show you what we're, that dry sift there. So that the big cream cheese plant, the 13-foot wide one, that one was the one that was hit with the extreme temperatures. Right before we got some really shitty cold temperatures, so it had to be picked. I didn't have a chance, didn't have a choice. There was no way I'd be able to keep it warm. I thought about trying to get my barrel stove out to my grill, but it would have just been impossible. It got picked shortly after the shitty weather. So then it never dried in the right environment either. So I've got a bunch of stuff that looks like this, right? I mean, it looks good and green or whatever. Tastes like shit. This is another jar of it. I just fucking ground up half a 5-gallon pail yesterday of it to make dry sift. What up? Not much. What are you doing? You gonna come over and join my live? That's cool. We're gonna have special guest Jason back. Okay. Ooh, I know. Okay. Okay. Slip in. I'll talk to you in a minute. All right. Bye. Special guest Jason Swanson, ladies and gentlemen. He was in an earlier video of mine. Not this winter, but last winter when I was making some rosin. He brought over some of his trim and we pressed it in my buddy DJ's freaking press. Anyways, I mean, didn't that suck? The whole outer part of this thing is just fried. It was just terrible. It started with a frost that we got. We got a huge frost, all right, which kind of killed off the tips. And then we got friggin' huge heat, like almost 90 degrees for 2 days in a row, which burned all the trichomes off. If you open it up, there's full trichomes in there. So that's, like I said, where I've gotten all this dry sift from. Okay, this thing here is half full. I'm going to be giving that to my brother here that's coming over. And then this one here is completely full. Tastes good, gets you lit as fuck. So I'm going to just dip that on some other stuff. This stuff is also the stuff that I made the tincture with. So I did not have a shortage of this stuff. I'm putting it to use. So in the past, I've just thrown this shit in the fire. Didn't know, anything that didn't turn out. This here is what's left of the tincture. Okay. That was a pound of this extracted with 151 Everclear. It's the highest alcohol content grain alcohol they can get in Minnesota. But it's special, being Everclear, it's a special extract grade. Oh, well, here. Okay, it's supposed to be for fact asking. What the fuck? See, fact ask. I can't even say it now. Fast acting. There we go. Okay. You can see what's left of it in the bottom. All right. So I steeped it for 3 days, and then I squeezed as much as I could out of it. I probably got like this much back out of it. So there's some loss, of course. You got a pound of friggin' plant material. You're not going to get all the moisture out of it again. But it worked really good. Let's see. Let's get back to the chat here. Yep. We fired it up. I'm feeling pretty good. I hope you are too. I see we're in kind of the matrix here. Look at this weirdo, dude. Or actually, do I point up to here? Look at that guy. Funny. It's funny when I don't tell a lot of people about this channel. So when we have people come by or something, I had some relatives here and I had the guitar. I think it was me on the guitar, playing on the TV. And they looked at me and they looked at the TV and they looked at me again and looked at the TV. Funny. Anyways, if you guys would bear with me for a second, talk amongst yourself in the chat. I got to take a leak and let the house know that we're getting company. Appreciate you guys. Love y'all. I'm gonna put some salt down there. He's gonna be on his ass as soon as he hits the sidewalk over here. Man, funny how it changes around here. Oh. Sheesh. It changed quick. We had nice. It was almost 50 degrees here. What was it, a week ago? There goes that phone again. Damn it. Nobody ever freaking calls me. Hello. Okay. Hey, did you see it was raining and snowing? The sidewalk in the front is still good, but the sidewalk between the house here and the garage is ice. All right, yeah, I don't. Yeah, no, yep, back. Anywho, I don't know what the temperature. I thought it was supposed to get to 33 or 34 today. It's 31. So 1 degree below freezing here in Minnesota. Who do we got here? Zelens? Oh, RJS. What's up? What are we talking about? What kind of wood? Let's see. One more quarter smoking a doobie. We were talking about nostalgia. Rose-colored glasses. Yeah. I like hindsight, but I wish I had a premonition of hindsight, maybe. That'd be a good name for a song, Premonition of Hindsight. Or maybe, boy, a YouTube channel? I don't know. Uh, all the stock left over. Okay, yeah. Uh, yeah, so fermented plant is what I would do with it. That's what I'm doing with all my plant material now. We're gonna get silica from that. It's gotta be. There's gotta be silica in these branches. Okay. Now, I suffer from freaking outdoor freaking planting syndrome, which I have a hard time. I'm learning now to, here's Jason, to not just direct all my freaking comments to indoor growing when I'm thinking outdoor growing. You know, those guys were talking on Ogo one day about hydroponics, and I'm like, hey, throw some compost in there. I'm not going to talk about Ted Hussey, what he said. Now we go. I think it was Ted. Oh, well, I don't know. One person was like, if I have to foliar spray, I'm doing something wrong. Well, true fact. The way that dude's growing, probably doing something wrong. But I like to watch my plants react to shit. Go out there in the morning and do a foliar spray. Maybe one in the evening with something else. Know that when you're inoculating stuff with activated aerated compost teas, that you are inoculating them like vine plants. And so far on my cannabis, but the vines, if you're inoculating them on a regular basis, you're not going to see any powdery mildew on that stuff. On a regular basis, I mean the new plant material, if you inoculate that stuff on a weekly basis, hopefully you're not going to freaking get exposed to it in that week, but before you get a chance to get to it. But my plants did amazing. Everybody, this is Jason. He stopped over because we're gonna hang out for a little bit. His kids are in between different things right now, right?
Oh yeah.
You want some of that? That's the what I was making dry sift out of. Here.
Oh.
It smells good. It just tastes like shit. I don't know what I did. Oh, there's Brad's bucket. There it is.
I got plenty to dry sift from right now.
Okay.
I got to do my own yet still.
Here, take this one with you. This is what I use. Oh, micron 190. You're gonna get pretty much everything you need out of dry sifting that.
Mm-hmm.
There's video of it. What I did with that is cut it up. That stuff's so crumbly it just kind of fell. Use the scissors.
Yeah.
And then fold it up because now you don't want to get your mirror all covered with green material. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The more you can get in here, if you can get a drum size part, take a spoon and just pound on the bottom of it. And then when you need to stir it up, go over top and go away, stir it up a little bit, come back.
Sure.
You can sit and shake it like this, but
you get that nice golden color.
Yeah, just to get it to go through the micron, okay? Because it won't, if it's just sitting like this, it won't want to go through. You could tap on it a little bit, maybe some will go through, but you got to really agitate it. If you're doing wet material, I found that if you do this, it kind of helps them work their way through. You can smell now them agitating it, that smells.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, sticky. Rubbing alcohol.
Clean it.
Yep. These will get plugged up, and they're probably close to plugged up now. So you'll get finer material now, which is pure material.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't want to get too fine, because then that's all just the broken off pieces of decapitated trichomes, just the pointy ones.
Sure.
Yeah, take that fucker. That should work good, good, good. And yeah, just experiment with it. Not wash like that again, you know, with bucket method.
Oh, yeah, the wet.
It's fucking a lot of damn work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Who's here now? Doc, what's up, brother? So,
Try this.
check this out. Okay, he's gonna get seeds out that I won to me one last week. Or when now was that? Was that last night? Yeah, it must have been last night. Or night before. Won some seeds.
Oh, yeah?
What kind of seeds are those, Doc? I didn't hear it on the live. I was gonna go back and listen to it, but I was trying to make sure I got your got a message off to you. Goddamn, I'm not good at sending texts or sending emails. My brother just brought me over a care package, and it feels like fucking some nice stuff. Oh yeah. Oh, that's the freaking
You got a little mix of a few kinds.
A few different kinds. Oh, it's really nice.
Yep. Ice cream cake, obviously.
I was going to say there's ice cream cake.
Yep.
Oops, let's see. Ice cream cake is the purple stuff. What's the green, you know?
And we got, and the next to that it goes the purple punch lemon drizzle.
Okay.
And then the blueberry sprinkle.
Okay.
And then I just put in some random outdoor stuff on the very end. So there's
right
four right in there.
Cool. Blueberry sprinkle. I mean, this is purple punch. Or no, the second one was blueberry sprinkle.
Yep. No, this way. It goes.
Okay.
No, sorry.
Yep.
It goes. You had it right.
Yep. Ice cream cake. Blueberry sprinkle. Purple punch.
Other way.
Purple punch, blueberry sprinkle. It actually looks the opposite from the outdoor that I grew. I think the purple punch was darker, and the ice cream or the
I think that tracks through there still. It might just be looking deceptive through the bag or something, but I think the other one, yeah, I think you're right.
Smells good. Thank you. Yeah. So like I said, I was telling these guys that all this stuff, just sifting stuff. Anyways, let's get Doc wrenched up here. We got to have my brother hooked up with a fucking wrench. Yeah, we're busy, brother. Let's see. Those are blue nectar. Let's see. Those are the blue nectar. Through 13 feet, 1 inch tall. Oh, that was your big one. Okay. That you grew outside the house on that brick wall underneath your window. I saw that. Yeah. Let's see. By new corn seed, they are. Am I saying that? By new corn seed?
So the other one, I thought it was actually going to be headbands, but it didn't turn out to be. It smelled like that initially, and they had a bunch of random stuff out there, and I was like, oh, I think this is that.
Oh, the
random
outside?
Yeah.
Let's see. I was reading RJS's there. Let's see.
I'm actually going to twist one up with that, and you can see what it tastes like.
He was talking to Dr. Dink. You see what blend of it is?
No, just straight up.
Oh, gotcha. Zalin says, hi, Sin Grows, what's going on? Cheers. Me and a buddy are just having a powwow here, getting ready to. He just stopped by. Doc's been sick. Sounds like it. Yeah, same as Grambo, man. He's been sicker than fuck. But that was with kidney stones, I think. Good to see you guys. Thanks for stopping. Doc is now modded up. Boom and boom. Nice. Yeah, Doc, we're making some fucking biochar here today, but basically it's more than just biochar. It's going to be amendment that everybody's going to be able to use by just throwing a handful or two, depending on what they're using. If they're using a 10 to 7 to 14 gallon pot, handful and a half. A pinch, if you're freaking just starting maybe a repot from a seedling or something like that, throw a pinch in the hole. But my mounds are going to get 3 to 6 handfuls of this on there. And over time, going to get up to 15% of biochar. Now, 15% of biochar is only going to be, 60% of what a handful is that I'm going to be putting in this stuff. So, he said negatory. I'm going to put that in there. Boom. Yeah, did you see my rabbit crab trap videos?
No, I know. I hear you talking about it. I know. I've
two
seen the
buckets.
videos where you're talking.
Yep. Boom.
Well, that worked pretty well for you, huh?
Fucking A. And it smells like a hospital. So all those chemicals from them freaking willows going right through them rabbits.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so when I was melting some of this stuff out, I put it over the box that I had the inoculated or the activated charcoal in. So as the snow is melting around the rabbit shit, it was dripping through and inoculating that completely sterile, empty activated charcoal, which charged it and technically made it into biochar because I'm seeing activity coming from a closed plastic bag, the microbial activity. But now we're fortifying it basically with the insect grass, which is this. This here is the turkey tail mushroom.
Oh yeah.
That was this damn big on that maple that's out in the front.
Sure.
Okay. I busted it up. And basically, what I'm thinking is in nature, this stuff's going to break down, and it doesn't take long for it to break down, right?
Right. It almost looks like rotten wood as it just sits.
It is, right. It's a fungus that is left over after breaking down wood, whatever. But mushrooms are also made out of chitin, which is what you're getting from the insect frass, which triggers your freaking shit to
extra.
Yeah, your oil.
trichome sticky.
Yep. So I'm assuming this is also a mushroom fungus. It's also made of chitin, which if you look at them both ground up, can you tell me which one's which?
Yeah, I mean, guessing that's the.
Well, obviously, but now can you really?
Yeah, right. No, just a shade of gray there.
Yeah. So we're gonna see. So my brother Jason here is gonna get a freaking bag full of this shit too. You can use it in your indoor because you're treating for bugs anyways.
Yeah.
I would say one of your sick plants right now.
Yep.
I think it's ready. It's ready enough. Take just this much of a handful and sprinkle it a freaking inch away from the freaking plant, somewhere where you're gonna water and scrunch it in there.
Sure.
A little bit, scratch it in.
Yeah.
And see what happens. That pepper plant, There's green spots on that thing that took off in the last couple of days. But it still looks like shit, dude. There's only 5 branches that are getting freaking growth on them right now. Hopefully they do take off. But folks, yeah, check that out. That's going to be black. There, that is black gold. Like I said, that stuff last year saved plants. I gotta say, the zucchini. I forgot about the zucchini. I was using fermented plant juices on them too, and compost teas, but my zucchini lasted all freaking season long.
There you go.
And it produced all season long. Bongs up, everybody. Cheers. Devices up. It's almost 220. No, that does taste good.
220 somewhere. Yeah, it's tasty. It's not too strong or nothing. Kind of like when I'm out and about, I like something that ain't too strong.
But it's got that body you're looking for. You can taste it inside your mouth. It's got floral notes to it. A lot of smoke. You like to see a thick cloud of smoke, and then some kind of lung reaction too helps. There's stuff that freaking I've smoked lately, and some of it was, what was it, the blueberry sprinkle that was left on the plant. I wanted to see what some looked like if it got really mature. That didn't have any fucking, it still had taste, not as good a taste as it did originally, but it was missing the body that you're looking for. Maybe that's part of the conversion of the THC to CBD or whatever it actually is. I don't know if that's actually true or not. Seems to be. Someone you know that I live with got sick.
So
4 1-hits. Got sick and threw up. Fucking not last night, night before.
off one hitters?
Mhm.
Oh,
She smoked a couple 1-hits, and that's usually her limit. And cleaned out her 1 and forgot she smoked 2 1-hits, and then smoked 2 more.
oh,
And then waddled into the house, and then fucking was like, wow, I feel weird. And sometimes she'll get that way from a cigarette. But all of a sudden, she said, from nowhere, she's like, I'm glad I was sitting right next to my garbage. She's like, I fucking threw up right into the garbage out of nowhere. And then she thought, oh shit, now I'm going to feel like shit. But then it was over.
yeah, that was it, huh?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, must have just been like, was she coughing hard or
Nope.
no?
She don't cough.
Sometimes,
She
yeah, that does
deliberately fucking does not cough. She doesn't take a big enough hit to cough.
Sure. Huh.
Yeah, unfortunately, that catches up to you once in a while.
Not the strong one, eh?
I know once in a while in a blunt, the damn tobacco will hit me real hard because I don't smoke anymore. And in like 2 or 3 hits, I'm like, fuck, I can't take it anymore because now I'm buzzing so fucking hard from that damn cigarette. It doesn't ruin it, but it just gets me. Well, it kind of does make me kind of a little sick afterwards. Maybe at the same time too. Anyways, what are we talking about? Oh, love to have some of that char. I wish I could get it out to people. The U of M is just now in Minnesota here, working on building a freaking biochar plant. Their first one. Doc, is that you? What's going on? The other doctor's in the house. Dr. Leave me alone. What's going on? Free coffee. Thank you. Cheers. We're talking biochar. Thanks everybody for stopping by. This is kind of spontaneous show here. I may be doing some more randomly, probably at this time because I didn't see nobody else on. So I'm like, well, whatever I got to talk about, I'm going to talk about it now. So, and then boom, Jason happened to give me a call. So I'm glad he stopped by. I've always had better numbers with guests, especially guests that bring flowers. Yeah. So, anyways, our amendments here are still going to go. We still got more to add to the piles. We're not running out. I've got a big vegetable garden to freaking feed yet too. But predominantly, the stuff we're focusing on today is going to our cannabis. But I don't smell nothing out of there. I don't know. My sniffer ain't the best, but take a whiff of that and tell me, do you even smell like burnt wood in there anymore? Because I did have some generic shit in there that smelled sooty.
Yeah, and there's like nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing, really.
Yep. So what we should see now in the near future is that should start smelling like soil. Because now we've got our compost in there. You looking for an ashtray or something? I got you can put it right down on this. That's porcelain, this part of it. Oh, shoot, Merle. And one tip I will say, if anybody, so Jason will probably agree, other than himself, there's not a lot of people that I know in our area that have the resources that he and I have to be able to do what I'm doing or what we're going to be doing, because they're not living on property where they can collect freaking plant material and freaking have bees and all that jazz. I didn't know she was still going.
Waste not, want not, right?
Yeah, I do have roaches, by the way. But those tend to fucking make me cough more than I already can cough, you know? But they're not bad to mix up. And
yeah, this is a good mixing one right here. It's not too strong, but it's got a good taste, or and it smokes good or whatever. So, like it just doesn't make you cross-eyed.
I do miss the blueberry, the bubble gum, but we're in the time of the year where I can't afford to fucking have the bubble gum because I'd be just sitting on my ass. So if I would have had it today, I'd be still sitting in that chair right there.
Exactly. Yeah, some stuff just puts you down,
Yeah, well, I'll have to. So this is going to be put down twice a year. Now, I was going to make it so it would, part of it would be for flour using the rabbit shit that was, they were consuming the freaking willow, and then use the deer, which they were consuming the freaking flower or the plant tree buds and stuff like that off of the scrub brush out here because it was winter. But then I figured I'd get this mixed up with that or put this in at the wrong time or whatever. So we're just going to make it nice and homogeneous and make it friendly for everybody. And then at that point in the season, we will feed this plus whatever extra stuff we need. Plus, I need to still add our clay part of our rock dust to this. So it's not actually complete to where I want it to be, but it's complete enough to where it'll be a plant nutrient. And I don't think he's missing any minerals in his grow. You're using other kinds of fertilizer.
Yep.
Okay. So they're already gonna have that stuff in it. But you're gonna see, and you used some last year, didn't you?
Yeah, I've been using it. I've been using biochar. Yeah.
Yeah. You notice how they kind of keep a little more life to them, even though you're using fertilizers?
I just, I haven't used them enough to like be consistent or like, just like try it over here and I just kind of use it on everything a little bit. So
you have really nice rhubarb.
Oh yeah.
But my rhubarb made it all friggin' year last year, and usually it dies in July.
Oh.
And I know it was because of that. It even took off faster And it was just, I can see a couple of specks in the little mound or the little spot where the rhubarb's growing on it.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
all I can see. It was just a tossing of a little sprinkle of
Rhubarb.
yeah,
So,
getting it last, and same thing with and stuff.
so that is interesting.
So yeah, folks, if you've got, I wish right now I had worm castings also. Um, that would be a thing. And really, you could add your blood meal to this, your bone meal to it, any of that dry stuff. Um,
Yeah, I suppose.
yeah. And I like the black color because it's going to absorb the freaking heat for the sun. But then the actual structure of it and the moisture retention and the microbiology that stays alive, the life in there is what's keeping the plant alive in those high stress days. I'm going to find you a bag to put some of that stuff in. Oh, and that's my tip of the day. Is any of you folks that go to them garage sales? I tell you what, this kit, obviously, see now, in hindsight, I wish it was still in its original form, but I've gotten so much use out of this kit that I don't regret freaking using it. But if I would have had that kit in the closed box still, got it for $10. I mean, yeah, I got it for $10 at a garage sale.
All the pots fit in one.
I've got like freaking 6 different kinds of these camping kits, and I've used all of them, from melting down wax to freaking making extracts. This one's got to be, I mean, the box is probably worth something to somebody that's got the kit. Who knows? Right? But right now, I'm using the kettle for a freaking camera stand behind the freaking laptop there. And now I'm using one of the damn cups, which, oh, see, it's cracked on the bottom, so you know it's old. To scoop up some stuff here. And actually, that's going to go, that's probably 1 cup too. That's going to go in my sidewalk salt bucket when I'm done, because I need a new scooper in that. Now, I did sprinkle some honey water in this too, to get some activity going in there, but I would think once it gets into a warmer environment, you should see some condensation growing on there. If not, you will as soon as you add some of that to your
Sweet. Thank you.
soil, it'll get going. Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I did sprinkle some in my pepper plant, and it had no adverse effects. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that was before we added the good stuff. So,
Sweet.
we should be good. Yeah. Okay. Hopefully you notice some fucking good shit, man.
Yeah, I'll try to separate it out if I can see the difference.
Just start just one.
Fill you. I'll be able to fill you.
Try out one. Yep. Just try out one with a little. Depending on the size of the plant, I mean, a little handful of it. And then water in, but you gotta make sure it's incorporated in the thing. Just sitting on top of the ground, they don't do nothing. Or,
Yeah.
you know, do much. Gotta be with those microbes. Shoot. Do you want a white widow today?
Yeah, well, I mean, unless if you got room for them, if you want to hold on to them a little longer, I don't care either way. I'm about to run home after this.
You're going home? I'll get
Yeah.
you one. Yep. Talk to these guys if you want.
Oh, I'm gun shy.
Let's see. First, I better make sure I got something. I got a jar in there. I'm going to put it in the jar. I think. Yeah. Actually, hold on. I think, oh, that's got honey in it. Well, Wait. What is this here? Oh, no, it ain't gonna work. All right, I'm gonna put it in a box. Be right back, everybody. I wonder if this will work here.
Throw some of this stuff in my truck, but don't forget it. Let's take it out here. I even found this because now I thought of seeds. Here's our little girl. That's that 21-year-old seed seed that was popped 21 years ago. White widow. Tucked down in there with some paper towel. You'll stand up. Nice.
It's on an 18.6 right now, so it should fit right in with anything you got going there.
Okay, yeah. Mine are 23 hours, pretty much.
Okay. Yeah, that won't.
That room's just on.
It ain't gonna affect going that. I mean, it'll start growing a little faster, I imagine. Let's see. That's some stuff for Andrew. This one here. Okay, there we go. So these, the ones that are wrapped in paper. The ones that aren't are just crapshoots.
Oh.
Wrapped, but they're all the ones that are wrapped in paper are initialed or marked what they were, and they're either the power plant, the white rhino, or the ice cream cake from last year. If they're ice cream cake and I was able to identify,
You got one that popped
though
up.
some of those are loose ones.
Oh yeah.
That year, if I didn't know where they came from, I just threw them in here
Gotcha.
as randoms, varieties. But the other ones are either like PP, some might say cake or whatever. But the ones that are on the 2 plants that I pollinated with that mail from you are marked with your name on there, or they'll have a J or something like that, you know?
Okay.
There's not many. Most of the ones that are on the bottom are probably the ones that are the ice cream cake, because that's what I had to smoke on right originally. So take what you want. You can either search through them, take a handful of them, whatever. That's 2024. This is from 2025. And then the 2025 stuff I got better at marking. And then the random ones are just sitting on the table here. There's probably 50 of those here, but we didn't get a lot of seeds the last 2 years, which is fine with me. But I did hear that in over by Coon Rapids and Fridley, and we should go look at this someday before it's gone, because they're starting to friggin' develop it. There's a military base in that area where the military did cannabis research, not hemp. There's wild cannabis, or what now I'm finding out can be considered land race. So there are land race in the United States. Populations of man-worked cannabis, whether it was from farming or whatever. In Minnesota here, how far do you say Coon Rapids is here as a crow flies? 15 miles?
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Okay. Directly in line from here, as the wind blows, is Coon Rapids, Minnesota, where there is a substantial patch of military worked cannabis from, I believe it was the 40s. That somebody spotted just recently. Oh, look at there. There's a little bit of bud in here. Wonder what that means. That looks like the blueberries or the Vegas greasy grape. So it's possible that some of these goats that I've freaking popped in my past, and just not knowing anything about growing, I've grown a couple of fucking plants that freaking knock my socks off. It's possible that some of that stuff from that military pollinated my shit. Who knows? But I would like to get some of them genetics. There's also another guy that is over probably near you that on a neighbor of his or something has an old worked patch from the dude's neighbor's uncle that's just been sitting there just reproducing. I'm sure it's got some influence from, the neighbor guy or whatever, whoever else may be growing in the area, but I'm guessing some of these genetics are pretty clean. And that's probably why I'm getting skunk on some of these seeds that I popped. The ones that I popped that I liked were skunk, which brings up that we're getting a new genetic, people. It's called Gangsta Party. It's purpler than this ice cream cake is.
I don't know. It's hard to believe.
Oh,
look at.
I know this is pretty fucking beautiful.
Throw that one. Throw that.
I'm going to show them on camera here. Yeah.
I mean, that is as purple as it comes.
It's hard to see on this damn camera because it looks green. Damn it! Oops, I just lost some. But that is fucking purple, people. And it's crystal. This is a dry crystally too. That is a washing plant right there. You can feel the crystals on it. Boom.
That's as purple is.
Yeah, there's no way you can tell this stuff apart. I mean, that you can't tell this stuff apart from anything else in there. Even brown. I mean, it's not purple brown, it's purple purple. But yes, it's very, very purple.
Oh, yeah, I love
Yeah.
purple.
Let's see
Those
if
are some of my favorites by far.
my picture's probably blurry on my phone too. If I can find it. Boom. Gallery. Oh yeah, very well. There's a better picture of it, maybe. Oh yeah. I don't remember how to.
Well, this one has. Yeah, I can't. It's too
So
blurry.
there's green there, but you can see that that's
Oh,
purple
I see a
in
little
there.
bit.
You
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
So it's similar to what you got going on. But well, let's see. Let's look at the crystals once. There's a lot of leaf material on the stuff he gave me. But it was just as frosty as that for sure too. But the skunk fucking taste on that and the smell, holy crap. And it's a weird kind of skunk too. I wouldn't say it's roadkill skunk because it doesn't smell like meat or anything decomposing like that. It's got a funk, I would say. Anyways. Yep. Let's see. What are we talking about here? We're all potheads here, Doc. Most of all, we're all potheads right here, right now. Not per se everybody on the property, let's say. Yeah. Yeah, meat flavored weed, man. Oofta. Here. Oh shit! Let's just take that. Let me load a bowl with that here. Make sure it's up to snuff to give away. Bong water's getting a little old. It's only a day old, but I can smoke a lot of weed through that fucker.
It's nice to keep that water clean.
It is.
Makes a huge difference.
It does. Especially when you drink it, but yeah.
Yeah. But back in the day, man, you fucking, it's just a standard that bottled water being there for a year, you wouldn't even question it.
No.
You know, just like, ugh. Thinking about that now.
You know, back in the day,
you smoked a lot of fucking swag too, though.
What we did with our bong water one time, actually, it was bong water, and we took all our pipes and boiled them clean.
Oh, get all that resin?
Yeah, and then we took Jello. We took Jello and made Jello out of it.
Weird.
His body for sure, man. Like the first edibles we had fucking ever ate, but it was because we were out of fucking everything. Pipes with resin in them. We probably had already scraped out the most of it, or whatever, and smoked that. But
I was just talking to somebody the other day about running out of weed and hitting a bowl full of
full of fucking dry sift.
Just fucking seeds.
Oh yeah.
Explodes up.
I just had 2 bowls in a row with seeds in them last night. You take a little puff up.
I'll take a little
taste
one,
it.
yeah.
Maybe it won't be up your alley, and you won't want to take this home with you. What I'm going to try too here is I'm going to take some of this finest ground up char and put some seeds in it. Shit. Next time you come over, if you want to try some of them autoflowers to just throw in somewhere, you can take some of those with it. Oh, that's your lighter. You better hold on to that.
Yeah, I'm not too big on the autoflowers. I just not yet anyways, until I get my closet like just constant on a good schedule where everything that goes in is turning over right away type of thing.
Yeah, right now, I just figure
I'm using everything for everything right now.
Scotty420, good to see you, brother. Thanks for stopping by. Cheers. Love your content. Having a lot of fun these days. Can't wait to start growing again, damn it. Actually, I am. I got my little cabinet going, so here, you want to see the 21-year-old white widow?
Still going.
Yep. He's had powdery mildew one time, and he's like, that's the only thing I've ever had, and that's the only thing I'm ever going to have. He treats everything all the time. Now, like I said, there is fucking fruit flies inside. So I don't know if those came from whatever or if they came from
That
these,
stuff
but
comes from the.
this is a pretty wet
I mean, even soil like
deal
in
right
the
here.
garden center, in the bag.
Yeah.
Still find that stuff in there. It don't matter. It's everywhere. Always.
True enough. And it don't take long for them to come around. And I haven't sprayed nothing on any of it. So you got something to put those in? You got a cellophane or you need a bag or something?
I'm throwing them in this one right here.
Oh, okay.
Here.
Still wrapped up? All right, cool. Finding something? What'd you find? You open up any?
Yeah, I tried to get one of each, so I got the white right now. I got a critical. I got a ice cream cake.
Oh, I forgot about the critical. Yeah, right.
Yep. Okay. And but I'm still looking for a power plant. So.
Okay. Oh, that one's empty. Oh no, there's something in there.
Here, do you want some of this? I'm gonna take some of them.
Yeah, shit.
And I'll just leave it
no,
there.
Here's a power plant. Is that what you said?
Power plant. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Found it.
Mm-hmm. Now I don't know if that's the big power plant, the small power plant. Let me have a guess. It's probably the big power plant would have had more
Vertical
seeds right there.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Thanks, brother. Yeah. Nice to have variety, especially when the stuff you got yourself doesn't taste the best and you've been smoking it a while.
That stuff ain't the greatest, but it tastes okay. It burns good, so.
See, that's what we're looking for. And like I said, I can get that dry sift.
Mix it in with something else that you got, your sift, and then you'll be fucking rocking and rolling. Kind of do with that weaker shit. You can blend it with other stuff.
Fuck yeah. And then this year, we're going to do it to it, man. There's nothing standing in our way. We know what we've got. That we can rely on being good. You know what I mean? If you want to fucking experiment with a seed, that's fine. Right. Then it's still an experiment, and it's not something like, you know, what I relied up on until now. You know, fucking bag seeds and those motherfuckers, man. You can grow a field of them fuckers,
right,
and still not get the quality we're going to be looking at this year.
Yeah, exactly. It all comes from the clones and having verified strain growing. I mean, you can throw out 100 seeds, and
because we know how to grow.
You know, you're gonna only get so many that are worth a damn. Yeah, seems like all the time.
Now, barring a motherfucking tornado, now that's next. I got hit by one tornado when I was growing, and what affected the plants was the damn hail that came with it.
Yep.
What's going on, Scotty? What are you looking at there? Good to see you too, fam. Oh yeah, yep, it's a photo. You betcha it's a photo. That's 21-year-old fucking cut, man. He's been cutting and cutting and cutting for 21 years. I'll always take good seed, brother. 420@gmail.com, Scott. Or yeah, Wet Basement Grows. Right on, brother. I'll hit you up. Oh, fucking A. I know you do got some bomb ass meds, brother. Fucking A. Yeah, no, it's just I don't know. Knowing what you're gonna get, you can plan for what you're gonna want, basically, you know. You're gonna want a little for this in the morning and a little of this at night, and maybe you're gonna want 2 of those plants because you smoke more at night or something like that, you know. So now that we're getting into this pretty deep, being Minnesota's new and boy, the bugs were new, weren't they?
Yeah, those bolo worm.
Holy fuck,
That
yeah.
sucked.
Everybody's calling them bolo worms, but that's just be on the lookout for these fucking worms.
Yeah.
They're damn yeah, the hemp borers and fucking corn borers, man, they fucking suck.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my warning for everybody when I saw them out here. I'm like, fuck, I've never seen this before, but I know what they are now. Everybody look out because they're around. And the aphids were crazy. Didn't have any powdery mildew. You? Did you see any of that this year?
Outside, yeah, I had some outside.
Did you?
Yeah, always powder mildew. Always.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Must be something right. Maybe one of your homies in the area has got some shit that are, because cannabis is specific to
Its type of powder
one
mildew.
time. Yeah, like I could
Never
walk
seen
around to
that.
my pumpkins out here all day long and go out in my grow and they won't contaminate each other.
Right.
Same thing with this rose bush up here. That rose bush, I don't know.
I wonder about those peonies though, because like I said, those things
Do
just
they
get
have them
covered.
too? Okay,
Every
see,
time covered in that.
okay, maybe the peonies have something to do with the
But
fucking
they're
strain
all over it
of that.
every time, and it's just like they go fine during the season, and then when it's time to die off, they just get covered in powder mildew. But
You know, Lorena, right? Amy's daughter. She's studying uh fuck, I can never think of it when I'm on the spot, but molecular biology.
oh yeah, I wouldn't understand what it is anyways, whatever she does.
And they're working their way up to that right now, and they've covered biochar.
Oh,
And
sure.
she's also doing culture stuff. So I'm gonna get a fucking. First I'm gonna tell her, hey, if you come across plant tissue culture, pay the fuck attention. I'll get a fucking kit, tissue culture kit, and we can keep all our plants in a library without having to veg them as mothers. You can just keep a little couple of cells in a fucking petri dish in a chemical, and they'll last for years. Because you'll just keep them in that stasis of being kind of in limbo until you add certain chemicals that make them proliferate.
And that's just part of like a clipping of the
thousands
plant?
Of
okay,
and cells. You're just talking. That's for when you're doing tissue cultures. If you want to clean a fucking genetic, say you got freaking hops latent virus. Now there's ways that people are getting around it using nutrients like microbes and funguses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yep. But any contaminant in those last couple of cells at the tip of your plant, that contaminant hasn't had a chance to catch up to those cells growing yet, right? Picture this thing, cells multiplying, and you got this, it's a race, right? But the ones behind you will never catch up to those tips. You take those tips off, a couple of cells, and you do that multiple times, grow them out, you'll clean all that shit out of that fucking plant. You can do that with any plant, not just cannabis. So tissue culture is the future. And then you can get into making them seeds, those freaking synthetic seeds that are just the genetic cells encapsulated in a freaking gel that when you put those gels or introduce fucking this other chemical to those fucking little globulars, I don't know if it's just even simple as water, but it makes those things start to multiply. And then basically you got a clone in a fucking seed in a little ball. They're just starting that now. Yeah, but
I have to see it to believe it, I guess.
You betcha. I know, right? But they're doing it right now to where they've got libraries of plants backed up to where you're not feeding them, you're not doing nothing, you're keeping them in a controlled environment to where they're in stasis, just hanging out until you want to fucking grow that fucker again.
Oh, yeah. Damn scientist.
Yeah. So I'm going to get her a tissue culture kit. You can make them cheap, but that's exactly what they are. They're cheap. And they wouldn't be for long-term storage. Chances are you contaminate your shit. Chances are you contaminate yourself by freaking putting these chemicals together that you should have the right stuff for using, if you're doing it on a regular basis. But
That kids in the 50s survived.
yeah, nuclear shit.
Well, they all those testing, like home experiment science kits they had.
Oh yeah,
Back
right.
then, they
Yeah,
give you
yeah.
like
Radon and shit.
plutonium.
Yeah, and look at the the watches they give you with the fucking radium in them.
Yep.
That make them glow, the hands glow. And yeah, that scientist, they gave you a fucking Geiger counter with it.
Right. Yeah, it's sketchy when they give you a Geiger counter. Like, hey, don't hold this one too close to your eyeballs.
No.
They might blow.
Concentrated so you really get it to zing. Woo-wee. Anyways, yeah, there you go. There's some fucking seeds.
Nice, thank you.
Yeah,
I'll see where we
yeah.
go. Try one of each. I figure
I
I got
mean,
enough other
why
seeds
not?
going on.
Yep.
But see what happens.
Yep. For sure. What else am I forgetting, man? Damn. I'm glad I got one of those plants off to somewhere else because I just hate for fucking something to happen here and to lose those and have to go back and say, hey, can you give me some more cuts? I really want to grow that fucker this year. Like I said, it's not an ice cream cake, Oh, hey, here. That's what I'm forgetting. Oh.
Sun finally came out.
So this is the white widow, folks. This is the plant I'm talking about here.
Ooh.
Now see, I got a better picture on the damn camera here. All right. Now he grows that in soil with
Love.
but general hydroponics he uses as his nutrients. So in soil, general hydroponics, he scrogs it and top waters, top feeds. Here, first of all, here's a nicer looking chunk here. Wow, oh, but it's so it's very brittle. It dried very dry. It's probably got the the Colorado crumble or whatever, but
I love dry.
do you?
I do because then if
it burns better in your shit.
Well, especially if I'm paying for it, you get more.
Well, that's true. Yeah, there you go. That's true enough. But that's got that nice dank smell. It's like, and that's not because it was grown in a basement or nothing. It's because that's what it smells like. You know what I mean? It does have that basement smell. You got a cellophane. I just used my plastic bag. What about this is some stuff that a guy gave me, but it was fucking.
Yeah, I'll just get rid of this other
homemade fucking smashed. I got roaches in there.
I'm gonna picture this here.
Oh, I got a bag too. Or a thing too, whatever you call it. But yeah.
Oops.
Oh, rock and roll. I can't wait to grow that and try it. Because I seem to have pretty damn good with the way I dry. It gets right to that point. Thank you. Right to that point to where it's still moist and not going to crumble apart. You can tear it apart, but then you can roll it, and it'll smoke in a joint. Oneies, I like it dry, for sure. Bongs, oh hell, I forgot to even hit this sucker from last time. Now my lighter's probably all cold again. It's one thing about torch lighters, which I like to smoke this thing with. Goddamn, they don't work well in this cold environment. So let's see. Scotty's talking about the biochar. Let's see. First of all, they'll be regulars, those seeds. All right, yeah, right on. Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Biochar is some good shit. Yeah, it's saved some of my plants last year. Plants that I was just a trib or just a accustomed to letting freaking die because they're hard to keep going using fertilizer. This is what I used up till fucking 3 years ago. And then 2 years ago I started dabbling with other stuff while going synganic. Last year I introduced activated aerated compost teas and then went without this stuff here. Although I will say I was using, now probably most of it got washed out, but I was using the same soil that I had, the years before used Miracle Grow in. So I don't know how much that stuff was left in it. Maybe some micronutrients or whatever. But when I was adding activated aerated compost tea and the fermented plant juices and stuff that was more soluble to the plants, I was noticing reactions overnight. So I know what I was adding was doing shit. So now I'm doing that this year full on. 100%. The old stuff should be washed out. Cheers. Well, that smells good.
Which one was that?
It was one that, oh shit, that was still, that's right, that was that hash one. Whew. You can feel that one right here and right here. But it does still have some of that other plant kind of brown freaking taste to it. But look at it through this. What do I do with that little white thing? There we go. Battery's pretty much dead, but put it right up to your eyes the way I use it.
All right, yep. So, yeah.
You can see it focus on that. I would think there'd be more plant material in there. That's using that bag that I just gave you. Actually, I owe you half of that fucking kit anyway, so you paid for half of it.
Yeah, you're actually using it.
I'll get you this experience stuff. Fucking use it, yeah.
Right.
And that right there is the one I use. So you're getting what I've been using. Clean it.
I got a bunch of stuff I could use.
Yeah, you'll be happy if you just throw one of your trim bags in there and just bounce it a few times just over some glass. That's the simplest way, and it'll produce as long as you haven't done it before. And then if you've sipped it a couple times, then you might have to agitate the material inside.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I got one of these little handheld blender type of deals. I don't know. It's like
just don't blend it too fine.
Yeah.
Because then that's
like
when the green material makes it through.
Like a coffee grinder kind of thing, but I think it's like for.
So is it like
powdered drinks or some shit? I don't know. Yeah, very similar to
that bullet freaking thing? I don't use that for that. I use that for these things, but I do crunch it up,
But yeah, I was thinking about using one of them and got it from the thrift store for like $3.
Yeah. They're a pain in the ass to use if you're trying to make them with it all the time or whatever.
Yeah.
Unless you got a good way to clean them.
Yeah, I was just gonna use it just for that.
But yeah, just like this, the rubber seal on the inside of this one's toast because it didn't like I was grinding eggshells in it and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
So that grit when it got in there just made it hard to open and close, but now it opens and closes fine. Let's see what else we got going on here. Zelin said hi to Scotty. She says she texted. How's it going? Okay, let's see. Be right back, she says. And Scotty says, and half weeds are gone. You talking your seeds there, brother? I don't know. I'm so ripped now. I can hardly see. Oh, criminy. But yeah, as far as my extracts that I made this year so far is the dry sift and the um, tincture here, the honey stuff. I'm glad I had that plant because that stuff has its own place, man. You that honey stuff, and I'm good for several hours. Ah, top a little bit of weed with your dry sift, boom, you're good for a little while longer. Like really ripped, actually. Oh, bucking a. But now that we covered all that, I think I'm about done with what I have to say today. There was a couple things I want to see. First, we're going to open up this camera. That was open, okay. And see if we can switch cameras, because then if I want a different view, I know how to work that. Basically, I wanted to mix up that stuff so everybody could see it, and then see if I can learn how to control more of this on YouTube here. And what was it then? Of course, like I said, now I'm fucking stoned as fuck. Changing cameras. I know I can change different views. I can't go backwards from here, I don't think. We're going to try. We might lose you guys. Like anything I'm trying now, we might lose you.